What's going on, peeps? Welcome to another edition of Hip Hop Head. My name is Julian Williams. I have a review for you guys. The Lucious Left Foot, Son of Chico, Dusty by Big Boi. Long-awaited solo album comes out on July the 6th. Got a pretty good listen of it. Listen to the record twice. Overall, very solid record. Big Boi was on point lyrically on every song on this record. There was one filler song on this record. There was a song that I thought shouldn't have really been on this record, but overall the other songs were just straight fire. Everything was just right on point on this record. But one thing about hip hop records that I'm a little bit skeptical about is numerous guest appearances, and on this record there were numerous guest appearances. The guest appearances didn't really take away from the glory of the record, but it helped bring together and unite the sound of the record and bring a lot of clarity to the record. One person I was very impressed with on this record, I was impressed with Janelle Monáe on Be Still, which was one of my favorite tracks on the record, which was number 10. And B.O.B., he did very good on the chorus of Night Night, and T.I. didn't really have much of a big role in the song Tangerine, another good song on the record. Listening to Lucious Left Foot, Son of Chico, Dusty brings back an older time in hip hop. Brings back an older time in hip hop where everything was more fun and having a good time, and it wasn't all about drugs, violence, or anything else. This album was more about having a good time and just having fun. That's really what this record was about in my eyes. And there was some songs with messages in them. General Patton, and there's another song I could think of. It had quite a good message to it, but I can't think of it at the top of my head. But Big Boi, a lot of people that talk about the lyrical ability of Andre 3000, but Big Boi's lyrical abilities is very underrated, if you ask me, because I think after listening to this record that he's right up there with Andre 3000. He doesn't have that eccentricity or the that out there approach, but Big Boi lyrically is just is on the same level, maybe even higher than Andre 3000. It's just that he's not as creative as Andre. He's not really he's not as eccentric and out there like Andre is. So and he's not as attention getting. So people like the verses of Andre 3000. Me, it wasn't until 07 until I noticed the lyrical abilities of 3000 on International Players Anthem. But on that same record, Big Boi had another verse on the record that was just as good. But for a lot of people, Andre 3000 had the verse of the year with that record. But and on top of that, none of the guests on this record outdid Big Boi, which was really good, because he was there the whole record. The flow changed a little bit. It was sometimes it was quick, sometimes it was moderately fast, sometimes he slowed it down, but would change the pace in the song, which was good. A couple songs I liked on the record was Shutterbug. And let me tell you this, the first, I'd say 7 songs on the record are just perfect. It's just the perfect way to start off a record. Just the first 7 songs alone was just a great way to start the record. Feel Me was a good way of kind of bringing a little bit of momentum into the record and kind of feeling the momentum and kind of the feeling out process of this record. There was no verses from Big Boi, but it was just you hear kind of a beat, kind of pulsating, and it kind of builds up the anticipation for that first song, and then after the Feel Me intro, there's Daddy Fat Sacks, and that record was just unbelievable. How Big Boi came in, he just rhymed, and he kept rhyming that whole record, and just kept moving on, and he was just on point. As I keep mentioning, he was just on point. I was very impressed with this record. I was impressed. And me, as a fan of Outkast, I've been a fan of Outkast since Southern Playlistic Cadillac Music. I've been a fan since then, and it's kind of I guess it's kind of a shame that we haven't really heard much from Outkast since the Idlewild soundtrack, which has been about 4 years now. But I guess this is a good record to listen to while we're waiting for the return of Outkast. And so anyway, the rating I'll give for this record, I'm gonna give this record 4.5 mics out of 5. This record is that good. I think that there was that point to where the flow started to kind of wear down a little bit, and it felt like on this record, it was like he had kind of a sugar rush. It was like the first 7, 8 songs, he was just spitting fire, spitting flames, and then around 8 and 9 it kind of slowed a little bit, but around song 10, Be Still, and kind of towards the end of the record, it started to pick back up again. He started to pick up pace at the end of that record, and it was just really good. I was very impressed. I was even impressed with Shine Blockers, another good song on that album, Shine Blockers. And I'm not too much of a fan of Gucci Mane, but overall, it's like, what can you do? Gucci Mane did a decent job on that record. But anyway, 4.5 out of 5. Lucious, Leftfoot, Son of Chico, Dusty. Best believe I will be going to the store to get that record. It's worth it. So anyway, guys, thanks for checking out Hip Hop Head. My name is Julian Williams. Peace.